Hi guys, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another craft and chat video. So this is episode number 3 and we are going to be working on a scrapbook page. Now, I feel like a lot of my scrapbook pages look alike, and I think that's why one of the reasons why I stopped doing scrapbooking. But as I was working on something else, I realized that I have not done a lot of my scrapbooks. So this scrapbook is actually going to be a page for the trip that we took to Aruba when my sister was pregnant with the twins, who are now 5.5, and she was 12 weeks while we were there because they did their pregnancy announcement or the baby announcement while we were all in Aruba. So it's been quite a while, obviously, since we've taken this trip, and my book isn't even a quarter done. So there's a lot of different techniques that I've learned over the past few years since, I started making the scrapbooks, or even since I started scrapbooking. And I just feel like I haven't really used them at all. I really haven't been doing much. Oh, this is going to be a little crooked, but it is what it is. I didn't line that up very well. But this is going to be a page of just pictures of me, so none of my other family members were in these ones, so it's okay to, I guess it would be okay to show on screen. I'm in a bathing suit, so I'm not really thrilled about it, but it is what it is. I just thought that I'd come on while I was working on this and chat with you guys because, this is a little bit less than 6, so it's 4 by almost 6. I was trying to think of what I was going to say to you guys. Now I've lost my train of thought. But what do you guys do? Do you do the thing that you started off doing? Like, I started off scrapbooking and I loved it. And for just some reason, I have stopped. I stopped scrapbooking and I miss it. I have a ton of scrapbooks to do because I have the girls' scrapbooks, haven't done them. My niece Elizabeth will be 7 this year. Haven't done her scrapbook from her first year. The twins will be 6 this year. I have not done their scrapbooks from their first year. Nora, haven't even started hers. She'll be 5 in April. And poor Mila just turned 1 the other day, and I haven't even put together pictures for her. So I'm pretty far behind on the girls' books. So I just thought I would take a stab at this and work on one of my scrapbooks today. I was thinking that one of the things that I really want to do is get back into the stuff that I used to love doing. Now, for me, I feel like my scrapbooks, a lot of them look the same. It's kind of a basic layout. I'm not one of those super creative people who has those crazy scrapbook pages. Mine are just kind of usually like a photo mat with the photo on it and then a couple embellishments, and that's pretty much it. So they're kind of basic. I haven't really gotten the hang of journaling. I wish that I did, and I think that I wanted to try it a little bit more. Actually, the page that is one of the pages before this, I actually did some journaling, and it took me forever because I had to write it out like 4 times to make sure that when I actually wrote it on the page, it was okay. And that's one of the things that I always feel like I get nervous about right when I actually write on the scrapbook pages. So I'm going to try to get a little bit better with that because there are stories that go along with every scrapbook, which is part of the reason to scrapbook, is to record the stories the way that you remember them. And, other people may have different memories of the time, but it's really your recollection of that time frame. So I want to do a little bit better and, be a little bit better of journaling and doing some things. So I have actually cut out a couple of these. I'll show you what I used. I used this, why can't I, dye. I couldn't think of that word, the dye. And these are 2 of the same color cardstocks, the same as the one that's behind this. It's not the same color, it's the same from the same paper pack. It is this Die Cuts with a View cardstock stack Brights. Now this is something, again, that I've had in my stash for an extremely long time, and as you can see, I really haven't used any of it, so that's what I wanted to use. I wanted to use up some of my supplies, and so I used up 2 pieces of paper, 1 and a partial piece of paper for this layout. So I just wanted to talk about, you know, what got you into the arts and crafts world, and do you still do it? And do you still have supplies from when you first started? Because these papers I bought all for scrapbooking, pretty much. That was pretty much what I bought everything for, was scrapbooking. You know, the pattern paper that I have, like this pattern paper, I probably got this a long time ago. This was from Michael's. And, you know, I got a lot of supplies that I have had for a really long time for scrapbooking, and I haven't really used them. So that's the trick. You actually need to use your products that you have. So now I'm just going to try my basic layout, and I think I might actually pop this one up because I think that sometimes that looks nice. I kind of will probably put it more on top like this and then pop this one up. See the layout over here. And then what I think I'll do is do this. And then I have this stamp that says "really want to kiss you," because in the pictures, I don't know if you can really see them, the flamingo was like trying to kiss me. It was like, I was looking at it, and then it like put its beak up to me, and they were like super friendly. This was the coolest thing ever. I loved this trip because they had, we stayed at the Marriott, and they had a private island called Flamingo Island where you could just go, and the adults only side had these flamingos that were just walking around all over the place, and they would come up to you. And there was one that we thought he was hurt. He had like a bandage around his neck, but I think they said that was one of the ways they tracked him, and there was always this other flamingo with him all the time, and it was just like they would just walk up and down the beach all day, and it was just really cool to see them in person. They're just such cool birds. So, and it's actually funny, my sister had a bathing suit on that was basically the same color as the flamingos, and she had a little round belly like they have, because, you know, she was pregnant with the twins at the time, and it was just really funny. We were like, oh, who wore it best, Jackie or the flamingo? So I have some pictures of that. So I don't think I've done that page yet, but, you know, I know that I want to write a story about that, and then about the story about the flamingo that was walking that had the thing around its neck. So there's definitely a lot of good to journaling in scrapbooking. So I definitely want to, and that was kind of a random tangent, but I definitely wanted to talk about, you know, using your supplies, because oftentimes we have all these supplies and we just don't use them. We just don't use up our supplies, and it doesn't do anybody any good to keep things sitting in their stash. So this year, in addition to using my scraps up, I want to make sure that I start to use the supplies that I've had around for a very, very long time. So this is Distress Oxide in Worn Lipstick, which is a pink. And on this black, it's probably going to look really cool. So I want to do 2 lips on there. I'm going to do 1 up there and then 1 down on the bottom. And it's hard with these wooden stamps to tell exactly where the lips are going to be, but there it is. I just did that, and I think that came out pretty cool. So I'm just going to let that dry. So Distress Oxide is a it's like a hybrid between a pigment and a dye ink, so it will take it a little bit longer to dry. So I'm going to leave that to the side. That's why I wanted to stamp that one first. And then the Really Want to Kiss You, I'm going to stamp that in some, I was going to use Gina K, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to use the, what the heck is it called? VersaFine, because this gives a really, really nice solid image usually the first time. So I kind of wanted to do it reverse. Like this one will be black with the pink on it, and then this one will be pink with the black on it. So VersaFine is a really, really good ink. You just get it good and covered, and hopefully I will stamp this pretty centered and Hopefully it'll give a good impression. So let's just try it. So at one point, maybe I will actually do a live when we start doing these craft and chats, and so that we could actually have some interaction. Because I know that sometimes it's hard to just watch somebody ramble on and on. Oh, that came out good for the most part, except the U, but that's okay. And it's actually pretty centered and straight for my standards, for the way I stamp normally. So like I said, I do want to eventually do one of these lives. I just get kind of nervous that probably nobody would watch. So I think that that maybe is, you know, that nobody's really interested in it. So let me know if you'd be interested in doing a live. I would like to hear what you guys have to say back and forth. I know from other people doing lives, they said it's kind of, sometimes it's tough to craft and chat and, you know, answer questions. So we'll see how that goes. But I would like to do something like that in the future. So then I just might write, I might take this down a little bit, and then I might do something like, say, flamingo kisses or something like that at the top. I think that looks cute. So I like to do kind of basic layouts. Like I said, I'm really not super creative when it comes to the whole layout process, but I definitely like doing scrapbooking. This is probably one of the quicker scrapbook pages that I've done. So how many of you guys scrapbook? Did you start off scrapbooking? You know, I feel like that was the gateway drug into card making for a lot of people that I talked to. A lot of people did scrapbooking first, and then you know, kind of got into card making and things like that from there. You know, they started off scrapbooking. And I actually always, I don't know if anybody watches the Goldbergs, but I love that, you know, she's into all of her arts and crafts and all that, and a couple episodes they mentioned scrapbooking, so it makes me laugh, because apparently it was a lot bigger in the 80s to scrapbook, and there was one where she tries to, I don't know if it was the one she tries to set Barry up with the girl, Evie, who looks just like her. But they talk about like cutting pictures into fun shapes and stuff like that, and that cracks me up, because that was one of like the first things I learned how to do when I scrapbooked. You know, you cut things into different shapes, and you I don't know if I should pop this up or not. Let's see what it would look like with something underneath of it. You know, you cut things into fun squares and circles and hearts and things like that. I just thought that was really funny, because that was one of the first things that I learned how to do when I started scrapbooking, was doing that. So, and actually I was watching Courtney Kreber's video the other day, and Renee from Delaney Jane, and who else? There was one, and I totally forget, and I know I watched her video, but I can't remember who it is. There was another one they did, they do hops every month together, and it was using your old supplies, like doing a technique that you used to do, and one of the thing that Courtney did was using just distress ink in vintage photo, and that was like my jam back then. I loved using vintage photo on like everything was vintage photo. It was just like apparently the style back then when I first started. Distress inks were, I think I started around the same time distress inks came out. They might have been out for a little while when I started, but it was one of definitely the first things I remember getting and spending my money on. It was like one of the first things that I felt like I had the full set syndrome on, was that I needed to have all of the distress inks. And I still have that issue. If you can see, you can't see in this, where the angle for this video, but if you've seen my other videos, I definitely have an issue with that. I have a lot of distress inks and now the distress oxides, but that was the thing to do, was the vintage photo, was you used it on like every card, every project, I think every scrapbook page. I even did some vintage photo around the pictures, you know, so that was, the vintage photo was like the thing to do. And, you know, that kind of got me, that video series kind of got me started on thinking about things that I used to do. And then, you know, it got me on to thinking about scrapbooking, and then it got me panicked because I'm like, I have so many scrapbooks left to do. The twins, Nora, Elizabeth, Mila, you know, I have this trip that we took when my sister was pregnant with the twins, so it's been like 6 years. Actually, this April will be 6 years that that we took the trip, because the twins were born 3 months early. So my sister had just was getting ready to announce that. Sorry guys, my video cut off. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, you know, it just got me thinking of things that I used to do and I loved. So I wanted to do this craft and chat and see what you guys used to do and love and maybe don't do anymore, and maybe inspire you guys to start and do something again that you used to love doing, or whatever got you into the crafty world. So again, this one is going to be a rather basic layout. There's not that much that's going into it. It's mainly driven by the colors of the background. I tried to stick to the colors as closely as possible. The pink and the peachy orange or peachy pink that's in the background, and then the black. So just try to stick to that color combination, and you know, just to do this. So I wanted to just thank you guys. I know this is a kind of a long rambling video, me talking to you guys about things, and you really can't respond, but I'd love to hear your comments in the, you know, down below. And if you have any questions, or if you want to see anything else, please feel free to leave a comment or private message me. So this is my layout. Again, it's very basic. It's just one of my basic scrapbooking layouts. I really wish that I was better at them, but the thing is, you have to practice. So I think that I'm going to start looking and doing research on other layouts. I love looking at other people's layouts and seeing the creativity. I know that people have done like the word vacation and put their pictures all into it, and it just looks absolutely amazing. So, you know, there are definitely people out there that do better scrapbook pages than me, but I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of something that I used to love doing and that I want to get back into. And just tell me what you guys did and what you love, and you know, if it's still the same thing that you are doing right now, that is amazing that you've been able to stick with it. But if it's something different, let me know that too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video. Bye!